Good afternoon, everybody. I am Harneet Kaur, Company Secretary of the company, joining this meeting from Mumbai. I hope all of you are safe and healthy in these times. I would like to introduce you to the board members of the company. Firstly, we have Mrs. Corin Ruxel, who is Chairperson and Non-Executive Director of the company. She is also Chairperson of Corporate Social Responsibility Committee. Then member of Stakeholders Relationship Committee, Nomination and Remuneration Committee, and Audit Committee. Madam, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Harneet. I am Corin Ruxel, and I'm joining this meeting from my residence in Switzerland. I welcome you all at the 39th AGM of Integra Engineering Private Limited.
Thank you, Madam. Next, we have Mr. Adrian Ola, who is a non-executive director, a member of Stakeholders Relationship Committee, and Corporate Social Responsibility Committee. So please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Adrian Oehler, and I'm happy to join this meeting as well.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Shalan Devetia, a non-executive independent director who is chairman of Audit Committee, member of Stakeholders Relationship Committee and Nomination and Remuneration Committee. Sir, can you please introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Shalin Devetia. I'm joining this meeting from Mumbai. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Rahul Devan, a non-executive independent director and a member of Audit Committee. Sir, can you please introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rahul Devan, and I am attending this meeting from Mumbai.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Mr. Bhargav Patel, a non-executive independent director, chairperson of Nomination and Remuneration Committee, and a member of Audit Committee. Sir, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Bhargav Patel, and I'm happy to join this meeting from Mumbai.
Thank you, sir. Lastly, we have Mr. Mahendra Sanghvi, a non-executive independent director, chairperson of Stakeholders Relationship Committee, member of Audit Committee, member of Nomination and Remuneration Committee, and a member of Corporate Social Responsibility Committee. Sir, can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Arnett. I am Mahendra Sanghvi, and I am joining this meeting from Halol, from Rania in Gujarat. And welcome to everybody.
Thank you, sir. I would also like to recognize the presence of Mr. Utkarsh Pundlik, who is Chief Executive Officer and is joining the meeting from Halol, that is registered office, and Mr. Bhavin Karya, who is Chief Financial Officer, joining this meeting from Halol itself. Mr. Pareen Shah, who is partner of Messrs. CNK and Associates LLP, Chartered Accountants, and they are statutory auditors of the company, as well as Mr. Devesh Pathak, founder of Messrs. Devesh Pathak and Associates, company secretaries. Those are secretarial auditors, and would now request chairperson to proceed with the meeting.
Thank you, Harneet, and a very warm welcome to the esteemed shareholders in India. I welcome you all to this meeting. As confirmed by the company secretary, requisite quorum is present in the meeting and proxy is not allowed in the virtual meeting. Keeping in view the massive outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic requiring social distancing to be followed, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs has issued several circulars, as you are all aware, which are allowing the conducting of the AGM through video conferencing and dispensing with the personal presence of members. So accordingly, this year again, the 39th annual general meeting of the company is being held through video conferencing in terms of the aforesaid circulars. Members are requested to participate on a first-come, first-served basis, as participation through video conferencing is limited. Participation is restricted to up to 1,000 members only. However, the participation of large shareholders, promoters, institutional investors, directors key managerial personnel, the chairperson of the audit committee, nomination and remuneration committees, and stakeholders relation committee, auditors, and so forth are not subject to the restriction of a first come first basis. I think today, as I can see, we have more than enough space for everyone who wants to attend this meeting. In compliance with the provisions of Section 108 of the Companies Act 2013, read with Rule 20 of the Companies Rules 2014 and Regulation 44 of the Securities Exchange Board of India 2015, members are provided with the facility to cast their votes electronically through the e-voting services provided by the Central Depository Services Limited, CDSL, on all the resolutions set forth in this notice through remote e-voting and e-voting at the AGM. Requisite registers are open for inspection electronically during this meeting.
And now I request the chairperson to address us.
Yes, thank you, Hanit. We have, as in the previous year, prepared a short presentation. I would request you to please share this presentation so we can move ahead.
Is it visible?
Yes, can you please go into presentation mode so it's a little bit larger? Yes, thank you very much.
Most welcome.
Warm welcome again, and I think we can proceed with the next slide. Just a small information. I think that's clear on forward-looking statements. We are having a disclaimer here. So, what happened in the last year? If we look back, Hanit, if you can go on the next slide, we've had quite some change compared to the previous year. Looking at the overall macroeconomic situation, for the first year in many years, we've seen negative domestic growth. We've had phases from countrywide lockdown to relaxed guidelines, luckily quite relaxed guidelines in Gujarat. The government has struggled with COVID, but at the same time, there's a continuous focus on investment. For us, particularly important, there has been stability in the railway ministry and the continuous focus on development of railways. Of course, still today, there are temporary setbacks due to COVID outbreaks, which increase unpredictability of the business. At the same time, we see government is fast-tracking certain projects for growth, like metro projects, which offer new opportunities for the company. Overall, there has been an increased railway budget, which with more focus on infrastructure. As I said, more metro projects coming up, and we also see opportunities in export markets. So, as I said, the macroeconomic challenges in the previous years have been diversion of resources to the pandemic. Of course, vaccination, development and distribution of vaccine has been a high priority for a long time. We've been observing fluctuating financial markets, regional lockdowns again and again, still partial visibility, so the future is not really foreseeable. And what we observed, especially in the last 6 months, I would say that there has been a steep increase in raw material prices. For the company, we've been able to recover after almost 3 months of lockdown and continued partial lockdown for some time. We've been observing high uncertainty in business planning. We've been dealing, of course, with the pressure on margin due to increases in raw material prices. We've also faced several delays in issuing of orders and also in picking up of materials due to lockdowns. So Even if we could produce, that didn't mean that all our customers were able to continue production. And we've also had adverse impact on manpower, increased absenteeism, and availability of skilled labor is more than ever a challenge. Looking at our pillars of the strategy, they are basically the same as the last year. We've not changed our main strategy. We want to grow our existing business and add products in focused segments. In those we are present already. We focus on enhancing our infrastructure and increasing efficiency to cater to the increasing market demand. We focus on skill and team building to build a strong team. And of course, we continue to ensure safety of workers with special safety measurements to make sure that all our employees are safe and protected even during these special times. Now, you've all received the annual report. You've seen the financial performance. Here, just a short comparison of the year 2021 compared to 1920. You would have realized that despite of almost 3 months lockdown, we managed to maintain the level of revenue. So overall, we've had a very comparable result compared to the previous year. Of course, profitability, there has been a slight decrease because during the lockdown, fixed costs continued to incur as well. Here, just also a comparison of the development of the company during the last few years. As I said, revenue has been on the same level. We've seen a small increase in order intake, which indicates a favorable development also in future. You may proceed with the next slide, Honey.
Okay.
So we've had our board meeting this morning before the AGM, and I believe the financial results have already been published. I just like to give you a short overview of the results as on for the quarter ended 30th of June 2021. We've had a total income of now we have to say it in lakhs, 1,975 lakhs, and a profit of 216 lakhs, which is an improvement compared to the previous quarter, and of course also a significant improvement compared to the previous year quarter. If we look at this from of course, the previous year quarter is not comparable as we had a lockdown during that time. If we look at 2019 in comparison, we still managed to have a growth of about 20% compared to that year. So where do we stand today? Where is our business situation today? Currently, still looking at the uncertainty, we are having challenges in material availability. So there are uncertain delivery periods and prices. Challenges with manpower continue, and we observe frequent changes in customer delivery schedules and forecasts due to the COVID impact at their end. Nevertheless, as you've seen just before, we've been able to manage to achieve much better results in the first quarter, and we managed to achieve the growth that was expected. We continue to work from home whenever required and possible. Of course, for the majority of our staff, this is not possible because they have to work in operations in the factory. We are now operating at almost full capacity, and our focus is on continued investment and enhancement of our infrastructure. We also observe some delays in larger projects still due to COVID. Nevertheless, the financial impact so far is not so big. If we look at our action plan and next steps, we are focusing on consolidation and focus on existing clients and new opportunities with these existing clients. And we are very strongly working on establishing strong planning systems and inventory management to take up challenges of material availability. Looking ahead, we are trying to pass on higher material costs to customers, and we are trying to do smart buying. However, we see that there's going to be an impact on our profitability due to the increased raw material prices. In terms of HR, we have held a vaccination camp at the company for employees and their families, and we continue to follow the COVID measures and distributing sanitizer, maintaining social distance, and so forth. However, as I said before, we manage continued uncertainty and unpredictability. So even though things look slightly brighter than a year ago, there's still a lot of insecurity and instability. Coming to our 3 units growth plan, to give you an overview of what our business is about. In Unit 1, we are the #1 supplier to locomotive manufacturers in India. In addition to that, we managed to add further rolling stock products, and we also cater together with our customers to export markets. In Unit 2, we remain a regular supplier of Indian Railways signaling equipment, and in the last year, we managed to get a successful RDS approval of metal to carbon relay and also a partial approval of a new LED signal. Unit 3 is the iPanel business, where we design, develop, test, and introduce metal frame standard enclosure for various industries in the last year, and we've also executed first export orders to Singapore and the USA together with our customers in the last year. Just to give you a little bit more insight on what exactly we are doing, as I mentioned, locomotive business is still the major part of the sheet metal fabrication business. However, we managed to get new orders for rolling stock and metro coaches. One is, for example, the Agra Kanpur metro project, where we'll be delivering enclosures and panels to Bombardier. You can see on this slide an overview of products. So there are different products like traction converters, auxiliary converters, different kind of enclosures or panels, wall panels, which are delivered to customers like Bombardier, BHEL, Crompton Greaves, Hint Rectifier, Meta, Siemens, and Cepsa Meta for export. In Unit 2, congratulations to our management team. They managed to do, despite of the crisis, we've had quite an achievement. We got an approval, a partial approval for a new LED signal, which has been developed and approved by RDSO in the last year. This is a partial approval first. We have to install some signals on site, do a field test, and once this is approved, we expect the full approval for the LED signal. Also for the new metal to carbon relay, a lot of work has been done in the last year. We've developed this product. We've gone into the RDSO approval process, and just in the last quarter, we finally managed to obtain the approval for this metal to carbon relay as well, from which we hope to cater to an increased market on a continued basis for signaling relays as well. Again, a small overview of the products. Of course, relays is still a big amount. And then we have this fuse auto changeover system, wire harnesses, the LED signal, which is going to become more important, hopefully, in this year, and the new metal to carbon relay. Customers include, on a large basis, of course, Indian Railways, Konkan Railways, and for wire harnesses and other contract manufacturing products, customers like ABB and Lucy. In Unit 3, during the last year, we managed to develop and test and also introduce a new type of enclosure with a new metal frame, which is much better accepted by the market, and we managed to get nice first orders and also managed to do first indirect export to the US and Singapore. As I said, this new design is tested and certified and launched. However, we are still facing challenges, especially with the continued COVID situation and difficulty of traveling even within India. So we are working hard on developing the market and also working on appointing new distribution partners. As I said, we are having a continuous focus on new products, new technologies, and enhancing of our infrastructure. So we continue to reinvest our profits into a broadening of our product base to be able to increase the sales on a sustainable basis. Again, you can see here an overview of the latest development, as I mentioned before. And coming with that, of course, we also focus on a continued upgradation of our workshop with new machineries. And of course, also investment into our infrastructure, our buildings and factory sheds, which also need regular investments to be up to the required standards. Just to give you a short overview of what we've done on the HR front, it all started with distribution of hygiene essentials in the COVID crisis. We've had a break in between where we could organize a safety week. We just recently did a vaccination camp to make sure that most of our employees are getting the vaccine. We are skilled building, so we started to build our own welding school to educate and develop welders for our requirement. And all this is done with a focus on getting ready to be able to have a continued growth. A short overview of CSR activities. As I mentioned already last year, we focus on education and schools. So we're working together with a school in the vicinity of our factory, and we've invested in infrastructure and sanitation facility for the school. So the children there already at least have a good facility to be able to study in a better, neat and clean environment, and in a dry residential and dry school place. And what we've also done just in this financial year, actually, we've done emergency financial support for a COVID hospital also in the vicinity of our factory. here you have some pictures so you can see how it looked like before the investment. So as you can see in the study halls, the ceiling was having leaks and it was raining inside the classroom. The toilets were in very bad shapes. There were no proper doors and so on. And you can see now we've made a new roofing, so the students are able to study now, even during monsoon in a dry space. I would like to use this opportunity to express our gratitude to Integra Holding Switzerland for its continued support, and thank the company's employees also for all these efforts and engagement during this difficult year. I'd also like to thank the customers, vendors, and of course also our esteemed investors. A special appreciation is given to the commendable performance by the Government of India, government of various states in India, government of various countries, and concerned departments. We as directors regret the loss of life due to COVID-19 pandemic and are deeply grateful and have immense respect for each and every person who risked their life and safety to fight this pandemic. So moving forward, since the notice of the meeting is already circulated to you with your consent, it is taken as read. Now I request the company secretary to continue with the proceedings.
Thank you, madam. I would like to inform shareholders that there are no qualifications or reservations either in the auditor's report or in the secretarial auditor report, and accordingly they need not be read. Now I request madam to continue further.
The annual report, along with audited financial statements for the period ended 31st March 2021, have already been with you for some time, so I take the same as read. As you all know, the company had tied up with CDSL for providing electronic voting facility to the members of the company under Section 108 of the Companies Act, read with amended Rule 20 of the Company Rules 2015 and all the resolutions set forth in the notice. So all those members who have not cast their votes electronically and who are attending this meeting have the opportunity to cast their e-votes after the meeting. Your company has appointed Ms. Devesh Pathak and Associated, practicing company secretaries, as the scrutinizer for remote e-voting conducted from 17th July to 19th July 2021. They are also appointed as the scrutinizer for this meeting and will submit the combined result report. With your permission, I will now take up the resolutions which requires members' approval. Ordinary business. Item number 1 of the notice relates to receiving, consideration, and adoption of A, the audited financial statements of the company for the financial year ended 31st March 2021, together with the reports of the Board of Directors and the auditors thereon, and the audited consolidated financial statements of the company for the financial year ended 31st March 2021, together with the report of the auditors thereon. It is proposed to be passed as an ordinary resolution. Now I request the company secretary to read the resolution, as the same, being ordinary business, was not circulated.
Thank you, madam. Resolved that the audited financial statement for the year ended 31st March 2021, along with the board's report and auditor's report thereon, as circulated to the shareholders, be and is hereby received, considered, and adopted pursuant to Section 137 and any other provisions applicable, if any, of the Companies Act 2013, Further resolved that the consolidated financial statement for the year ended 31st March 2021, along with the auditor's report thereon, as circulated to the shareholders, be and is hereby received, considered, and adopted pursuant to Section 137 and any other provisions applicable, if any, of the Companies Act 2013. Madam, please.
Pertains to reappointment and I hence request Mr. Shalin Divetia to take the proceeding of this item number 2, and I vacate the chair for that.
Thank you. Item number 2 relates to the appointment of Mrs. Corinne Ruckstuhl as a retiring director, and it is proposed to reappoint her, and the same is proposed to be passed as an ordinary resolution. I request the company secretary to read the resolution, since the same being ordinary business was not circulated to the members.
Thank you, sir. The resolution is resolved that Mrs. Corinne Ruckstuhl, having DIN number 03531399, who retires by rotation and being eligible offers herself for reappointment, and is hereby reappointed as a director of the company, liable to retire by rotation pursuant to Section 152 and other provisions applicable, if any, of the Companies Act 2013. Madam, please take a lead.
Thank you. Some of the members have already registered their names for sharing their views, and I believe there has been only one member, Mr. Dinesh Kotesha, who has requested to speak. So you may please go ahead and speak. If you can.
Dinesh Kotesha.
I think he is still on mute, as it looks like. Oh, now he dropped out.
He's unmuted. No, he is already there.
Mr.
But
Dinesh,
he is
please.
not muted.
Mr. Dinesh, please speak.
Mr. Dinesh, can you hear us?
I don't see him onto the attendees
Dinesh,
anymore.
Mr. Dinesh?
I can see his name.
Yes,
Hello?
yes.
Can you
Yes,
see me?
now
Can
we
you hear
can,
me?
now we
Yes,
can
sir.
see and hear
Yeah,
you, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
there's a-
Please
there's
go
a-
ahead.
there's a wi- Because of heavy rain, there's a problem of Wi-Fi in our area, madam. Light is coming and going. Good
No
evening to
problem.
all of you. First of all, happy to see all of you very fit and very in good health.
Good to see you too, sir.
Yeah,
Happy to
yeah.
have you with us.
Yeah, sorry that last year there was also Janmashtami when you held the AGM. That was our Krishna God Krishna's birthday. But this year you have not kept it on that day. Thank you for that. Sorry, madam, your presentation was very good. But the same information is not provided in the annual report. Whatever presentation you gave of the last 20 to 25 pages was not available in the balance sheet. Several of the questions you have answered through the presentation. You should have given the balance sheet. That would have been a better disclosure. Now, I would like to know what is the quorum present today and how many members are attending this ACVC AGM. I would like to know that first of all. Secondly, for the first time, we are having a colorful front cover balance sheet with a cover page, very colorful, the front page. But there is no vision, there is no mission statement, no 10 years highlight, no progress of the company since inception, madam. All these things are information as required in the balance sheet. Now, on page number 8, I find that for standalone and console figures, there is no difference anywhere in the frame. Then why the consolidated figures are given? I would like to know that. Page number 2, most disappointing information in the entire balance sheet is that there is no dividend still. 2 decades have passed, madam. In 2019, when we made all the losses were wiped off, you had assured us that next year we'll pay the dividend. But last year you said because of pandemic we are not giving. This year also pandemic continued, dividend not being continued. I mean, that should not be the attitude. Now when we have already turned around, shareholders have waited for nearly 2 decades for a dividend. The rationale given below, the rationale given for no dividend is that your company is inefficiency, and you say that no, we want to conserve resources. Madam, tell me one thing. You have to pay tax, right? Can you tell to the government you are paying tax at the rate of 67% and 76% per share? That is 67% and 76% per share. Now, if you tell to the government that we will not give your taxes, is it possible? No. You will have to pay interest, you will have to pay penalty, you know. But when it comes to minority shareholder, you say the need to conserve the resources. Now, this is not a proper rational matter. Because I think that, you know, with the first quarter results or at least the second quarter results, you must give an interim dividend of not less than 50%. That is my simple, humble request to you. So, madam, I would like to know the rationale of one associate company, Integra Systems Private Limited. Why is it needed? Is it necessary? And you know, on page number 11, you have not given the SIN number of Pentomas Capital Advisors India Limited. Whenever you say any limited company, you should give the SIN number of that company, madam. Page number 13, technological absorption. You have given a very general statement there. New company manufacturing in which investments have been made. Now, what is the latest technology there? What is the SWOT of that technology? What steps are you taking to motivate? Express should be given. Don't give all general statements there. Page number next page number, same page number C. Net forex user. We are not forex earners, but forex users for both the years. Madam, page number 15. CSR spend. Though only 2 photographs were given, but you explained that in detail in your presentation. What was the infrastructure and the sanitization of the building that you have given CSR, and after you gave the CSR funds, what was the position? I'm very happy about it. But how many rooms or toilets were made? Tell us how many rooms or toilets were made. Madam, page number 18. Why rent received is nil from Integra Systems Private Limited? Page number 19. Number of employees mentioned 160. 19% salary increase has been paid. Did you pay them also during the no production period of 62 days? How many days COVID lockdown was there for full and complete lockdown for number of days and partial lockdown? How many number of days? I'm happy that the KMP, the CEO, CFO and company secretary are compensated when things became normal. You must compensate when things become normal by making a one-time payment for their meritorious work during these trying times. They have really held the company together, the KMPs, in your absence. Madam, on page number 21, Devesh Parekh, our company secretarial auditor, under C, whenever he says something, he must say resolution number. This must of the 75th or AGM must be mentioned. You cannot say just it was passed in this meeting. It is it in the page number 22? He says that this is a draft secretarial report. So is it a draft secretarial report or a final secretarial report mentioned at point number 6? Please check that out. I think it should be a final secretarial report, not a draft one which should be printed or which should be given to the shareholders. Madam, on page number 26, this is attendance at last AGM. Now, last AGM, all the 6 directors were not physically present. So it should have mentioned that last AGM was held, virtual meeting was held, in which all the directors were present from their respective houses or respective places. They were not together. So there is a technical mistake there. Page number 26. Madam, you say you understand and fulfill the duties and responsibilities of directors and maintain knowledge in this regard to professional development. I mean, practically, this is not seen in the balance sheet, madam. There's something, the commitment is missing somewhere. You know, you say understand and fulfill the duties of the directors. I am not confident about this thing being fulfilled properly. And on page number 28, one meeting of Nomination and Remuneration Committee held on 8/6/2020. The chairman Bhargav Patel was absent. Only one meeting was held and the chairman was absent. But was leave of absence granted to him? Was it already requested and was it given to him? That should have been mentioned. Madam, you have changed the auditors this year to CNK. How has the changes in auditors helped the company in any way? I would like to know. Madam, what new products were offered in the local market in specialized fabrication for electrical power and signaling industry? Page 39, 8 ratios are given. How can it be improved? There should be discipline, cost control. Planning, control, coordination must be maintained. Page 43. Disputed cases under any law must be given year-wise and not grouped together. The auditor should also know this. Now, grouping the disputed cases, writing one amount and grouping all the years, 5-6 years together, we don't know for which year what was the liability. You can see Tata Company shares balance sheets. If there are 5 pages for disputed cases in Tata Company's balance sheet, they give it all year-wise. Why can't we give it? Tell the auditors this particular thing, the CNK people. Page 46. Asset held classified for sale, 24.11. And then you say loss on sale, 13 lakhs. Sold for 11.11 lakhs. Now, what was sold? I would like to know why it was sold for a loss. Was it sold to any of the related party, any director, any relative of the director? I would like to know that. Page 47. When you in the profit and loss account, when you say taxes and deferred taxes and earlier taxes, one line should be added of total taxes. When you say earlier years, you would like to know which earlier taxes it relates to. And assessment has been completed up till what year? I would like to know. Madam, provision, reversal of provision of doubtful debts, 18.47 lakhs. What is it? I would like to know that in detail. Selling and distribution expenses, how much is incurred in foreign currency? Page number 72. Well, I don't have a physical copy with me. The directors and all of you must be having a physical copy with you, or at least a Xerox copy. I would like to know what crucial commitments have been deferred for 2022-23, which was to be incurred in the current year because of COVID and other situations. What critical commitments of capex has been deferred to next year? You have discussed so many things in your presentation about the future of the company, but railways, government, when you do any supply to governments, it has been the earlier experience of so many companies that governments, they can give abrupt orders, they can give sudden orders, they can give more orders. But what about the payments from the governments? Are we receiving payments from the governments in regularly or as per the contract? Madam, lastly, I would like to know what percentage of the staff is still working from home? Other than that, I fully appreciate the hard work done by the KMPs. They have got a 3D policy: duty to work, discipline to quality, and devotion to the customer. Because of that, we have been able to get some sales this year to the extent of 18.54 crores against 63.01 crores. Madam, by what period you think, or the situational makes you understand that we will be back to 50 crores at least in the current year or next year? And I am expecting an interim dividend from you. You must not now be shy of giving us dividends. For 2 decades we have waited for the dividend, madam. You may do one thing. If you don't want, if the management or the promoters don't want the dividend, they can say dividends will be given only to the shareholders. Promoters are waiving the dividends. We'll be very happy about it. I wish you all the best and thank you for your patient hearing. There is a disturbance of electricity in my house. See, I am sitting with this torch. Oh. I was waiting for the Wi-Fi. I'm connecting from my mobile also. But suddenly the light came and I was able to talk. And wish you all the best. And I would not like to have this virtual meeting. I would like to come to Baroda and visit you personally and talk to you on the mic one-to-one in face of you. that would be better, because these virtual meetings are a headache. You have to register, and then the person calls up and they take trial, and the lights are not there, and we are sitting in the house lazy. I mean, they're also become up to date there, and we are also alert there in the AGM, as you are. So we would like to have the personal meeting, not this virtual meeting. And once the COVID thing subsides, keep one informal meeting of the shareholders, so that we can come and meet you. And when you come from Switzerland to India once a year, when you come for the board meetings, etc., that time we can coincide our personal meeting with you. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best, and all the staff of Integra. And I have voted for all the resolutions. Don't worry about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Katesa. I think we all share the same feelings. We would wish to be together in the company and be able to hold that AGM in a physical manner. We also wish not to be able to travel to India just once a year, but for every board meeting. Unfortunately, it's still not possible, but let's hope at least latest by next year the situation will be good again and we'll be able to sit all together in one room. Mr. Kotesha, thank you very much for all the inputs, all your valuable inputs on the details of the annual report. Also, we appreciate this very much. I hope we've been able to note everything, Harneet, because many things are also formal things which we want to take care of, that at least next year we take proper care of all these details. In future, I would highly appreciate if you could share your questions or remarks in advance, so we are really sure that we get all of them and we are prepared for the questions. But nevertheless, let me just try to answer as many as possible of your questions. Maybe first of all, you were asking about what products we introduced in the company. As I mentioned before in my presentation, we introduced the new LED signal to the market. So that is one electromechanical product which goes into the railway segment. We also are right now introducing the new metal to carbon relay. And we also introduced in the last year the new I-panel standard enclosure with the metal frame. Apart from that, we've also worked on few additional specific sheet enclosures which we've developed together with our customers in the last year. You were asking about what machine we have sold or what capex we disposed of during the last year. We had a water jet cutting machine which was procured quite a long time ago. This machine was not economical to run and not fulfilling our requirements. So we've been trying to sell this for quite a long time. Unfortunately, that was not easy. The demand in the market for these kind of machines is not high, but finally we managed to sell this machine, unfortunately at a loss, but this machine was sold to a third party only. If we are talking about dealing or working together with the government, you were asking about payment terms and how we are collecting our money. Luckily, in most cases, we are not supplying to the government directly, but we are supplying either to OEMs, building locomotives or trains, or we are selling our products to railway contractors who take on the big projects, the big signaling projects. So we are not exposed to the government payment. We have our payment terms with our customers, and we also have some bill discounting facilities to really make sure that we get the money on time. And I'm really glad to be able to say that the management has done a great effort in this regard and managed to significantly improve our collections during the last few years. With regards to the reversal of provision of doubtful debt, as you might know, Crompton Greaves has been in a very bad financial situation, and for a certain time it was not clear how that company is going to get back. Luckily, they found a new investor, and we managed to be able to reverse a provision or some part of a provision which we had done previously because of the uncertainty about these outstandings. You were also asking about the IESPL rationale. What was the logic behind this subsidiary company? This subsidiary company was formed many years ago as a joint venture company with another Swiss company which wanted to enter the Indian market. Unfortunately, the market entry was not successful. Those products have not been accepted in the Indian market, and this company has not been active for quite some time. There has not been any business, which also explains why there is no difference between the consolidated and the standalone financial reports. So we are right now actually in process of liquidating this company. As we realized, as you did, there's no use in keeping that company. Maybe just talking about your point of dividend. As you would understand, Integra Holding as a main investor and of the company who also invested into this company massively some years back when acquiring Integra or Schlafhorst Engineering, would love to get some dividends as well. We've been following, as I said, a growth strategy, so our focus is not on harvesting money from the company, but developing the company, and this requires continued investment in the growth. So we've invested in new machines. We are still investing in new machines, facilities like bending machines, laser cutting machines, laser welding machines. So we are continuously investing in the growth of the company. The growth also requires increased working capital, especially in this uncertain period we are right now with material supply. So as of now, we are not in the position to be able to distribute dividends. And as you know, there's also preference shares of Integra Holding, which Integra Holding has bought some time ago. And of course, Integra Holding would also expect the accrual of dividends and the repayment of these preference shares as well. But as of now, we are not in a position yet. You asked about some more details about the CSR activities and how many people are still working from home. Utkarsh, can you maybe give a short answer to Mr. Kotesha on that?
Yes.
And also the exact number of days we were in lockdown, he also wanted to know.
Yes, sure, Corinne. Good afternoon, Mr. Kotesha. As you all know that theoretically, the number of days the industry was closed was 62 number of days. And then that was followed by partial release of lockdown with 30% and then 50% and then 100%. So gradually the lockdown was released. And we are fortunate that your company had planned well in advance to work from home. And we still have that option of working from home whenever the situation aggravates. So we have the option of working from home, working from the factory, and working from our office in Baroda. However, we are taking all possible care. We are taking all possible care, as Corinne was mentioned. So, since this is a manufacturing industry, we are taking all possible care and ensuring that the production continues. So we have taken all possible due diligence, and we continue to exercise. We have the option available to work from home or from the factory. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Utkarsh, for these additions to the questions. I think with this we have answered most of the questions of Mr. Kotesha. I think the other points we will all take up for the next year's annual report. Right. Maybe if I can just add, we've received some additional questions from Mr. Bharat Kandwala in advance. Is he attending this meeting as well?
No, ma'am.
He's
No,
not there. Huh?
he's not there.
Okay, okay. So, yeah, I think whatever he asked, we answered more or less as well. So I think we are good with the question. Does any other board member have an addition to what I said before? Good. I think with this we can close the Q&A session. As I said before, I really hope that again next year we'll be able to sit together in person and we'll have more time and a nicer atmosphere to exchange questions and thoughts on and give you a better insight on the future and growth of our company.
Madam, would you like to take a lead and introduce Devish Pathak?
Yes. Now, Mr. Devish Pathak from MS Devish and Pathak and Associates, please give your instructions for e-voting at the meeting for all business set forth in the notice.
Thank you, madam. As such, many of the shareholders are enlightened shareholders, but for the benefit of others, I would like to share few instructions relating to e-voting. First of all, is that those who have already e-voted in remote e-voting, they should not vote now. Secondly, only those who have logged in or attending this meeting, they can only vote and no other else. And this e-voting would be open even up to 15 minutes after conclusion of this meeting. So you can avail benefit of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pathak. With this, the 39th Annual General Meeting comes to an end. I would like to thank all the shareholders. I'm grateful for your time and involvement. I further hereby authorize the Company Secretary to announce the voting results within 48 hours of the conclusion of the AGM and intimate to the BSE and declare the meeting is concluded.
Thank you, madam, for chairing the meeting so beautifully. I would also like to thank directors and auditors for attending this meeting. Last but not the least, I would like to thank you, thank the shareholder for attending this meeting and taking so much interest in the company as well as the meeting, and ensuring that in these times also they get into this meeting on with a proper time on a punctual basis. So that is commendable. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for being there at the AGM. Thank you.